Hello, I am Archivist Aaron, and welcome to my study. And today, we are back once more to Final Fantasy 1. Now, last time, we figured out that the final boss is no pushover. And by that, I mean we were not able to beat him at all. So, I mean, to be fair, we could have done like a few more tries and hoped for better luck, but I figured that it would be easiest to just kinda not do that and instead, go about just gathering up more levels, trying to figure stuff out in that way, get ourselves stronger before facing the boss again. So, all Dragon Ball Z style, we have turned the gravity up to 4 times so we can get 4 times the strength, because everyone knows if you're holding 4 times the weight, obviously you get stronger by an equal amount, proportional to the amount of weight that you're carrying. Everyone knows this. So we're gonna just kill things for now. I think, hopefully, we're going to kill the final boss before the end of the stream, but we'll see. That's a lot of XP. Also, I feel like the game is too loud, because I did turn up the game a bit by like 10% while I turned the background music down, because apparently the background music was getting very repetitive over the many hours that I've been playing the game. So I turned the main volume up and the background music down, but I think the main was also getting a bit loud there. But it's fine. I've also figured out, just in like the 10 minutes before I started the stream, is that if you set, like you do one round of what you want your characters to be doing, and then you put it to auto battle, then they will continuously do the same thing. So continually, these front two are attacking, and then she's healing, and he's using Fira every round. And what they're both using is from items, so it's infinite, essentially. So it's a pretty easy life, I suppose. You just you walk around until you get into a fight, and then you press Q, and then you press enter when it's all done. But I think where we were going is up here, because I believe what I think it was Snail who was saying it. Something about a secret boss, and apparently they're on the top floor of this dungeon, and they're incredibly rare. Now, we're probably gonna die if we run into them, but I kind of want to be on the top floor at least, so I can figure out if we can find that boss or not. Because it would be nice to kill it, but I just don't know if we can. But who knows? I mean, we're getting stronger very quickly now that we have 4 times XP on. Not the poison. Yeah, pretty much poison is all that happened there. Unknown Man gets 5 more health, up to a total of 4... Was it 400 or 500? I don't know, there were 2 chances there for me to check. Yeah, 400. There were 2 different chances for me to check that as I was going through the menus, and I kept pressing, the continue button before doing that each time. So, that's just great for me. And with the healer just constantly doing the small heal, pretty much none of these fights are going to result in anything worse than having to maybe use a consumable item to get rid of a status effect. That's pretty much the worst thing that can happen to us in this situation, except for finding that boss. If we find that boss, we might just straight up die. But other than that, we're good. The problem is, I know that the game does autosave. I just don't know how effective that autosave is. And I don't even know if it's like an autosave or just it's I think labeled as a quick save in the options. So I don't know what that does compared to a regular save, but yeah, I think it's up here that the boss can appear. I never even had any kind of encounters on while we were up in this region, so alright, this one's taking a bit longer because they slowed one of our main damage dealers. That is unfortunate. But eventually, yeah. It's still a lot faster than trying to do it manually. When everyone leveled up to 48 from that. Ooh. It's like almost 40 health. 27 health for Unknown Man. That's I think a new record, actually. I think the previous record was 25 health for him. So that's a big level. Now, I don't know exactly what these levels are going to do for us in the long run, because that boss has a lot of just insta-kill capabilities, and that's no good. But at the same time, having more health would mean that we would be able to take his regular attacks easier, especially because he had things where he could, like, hasten himself, and that makes it so that we're probably going to get one shot if we don't have a superb health pool. So we're gonna try to level up a lot. Oh no, ambushed. Ow. Yeah, these guys are doing a bit more damage than I gave them credit for. Because yeah, we can kill them so easily, but it doesn't mean that they don't still do their damage before then. I do wonder if anywhere sells the diamond armlets. Probably not. I would have run into it by now, right? Because I've gone into like every shop I've seen. I think those are just unique to the dungeon. Probably. Okay, you are high damage. Alright. Good health all around. And of course, we also get damaging stats, which I don't pay attention to as much usually. Oh, you're protecting yourself? Well, sucks to be you. Yeah, so most of this is probably just gonna be me running a circle, obliterating these guys. Ow. Evidently getting obliterated by these guys also. Because, yeah, the issue is that if we could heal every turn, we would be good. But the issue is that we can't, because my healer doesn't always go first, so sometimes the enemies die before I have a chance to heal up. But what I can do, without using any resources, is, like, in a situation like this, we'd set you to attack. You also have a heal ability. So if we make there be 2 healers in the group, then mayhaps we will be able to start recovering that health. We'll have less DPS, but we have one person doing AoE DPS and one person doing, you know, direct DPS, so it should even out, maybe. We'll see. If not, I'll just have to use bigger healing spells, and then maybe use some ethers if it goes on too long. Get our healing going. More healing going. Luckily, these things can't really out-damage our healing that well here. which actually is giving us time. Having lower DPS. Oh, they're probably dead here. Yeah. There they all go. And that's everyone level up as well. And everyone's level 50 too. Not 52, but 50 as well. So that's nice. There's an achievement to get all the heroes to 50. I don't think I've gotten the achievement though, because I think that includes heroes like the monk or whatever they are. So we don't really have that just yet, because you can only have 4 out of 6 of the people on your team at once. I'd need to play through the game again with the other classes to get the other ones up there. Oh, apparently you can still use magic items when silenced. That is good information, actually. Alright, we're actually full up now. So next fight, we're gonna have our ninja go back to regular attacks. Awesome ether. Do I actually need that? I think we're full up on the ether already. Alright, so set up this as our regular attacking setup again. Because yeah, he's much more efficient as a combat person than as a healer. But yeah, apparently it took like a couple hours for someone to find this boss at some point. So I'm kind of hoping it takes us that long, so we're actually high enough level and maybe strong enough to take it on. Because if it just pops up like right now, then we're so dead. I'm fairly certain. I don't think that we will be strong enough to take such a beast on. Alright, decent health ups. Unknown Man is back to just 5 health a level, but you know, that's fine. He'll get there eventually. Yeah, I don't even know what this boss looks like. I'm sure I'll know it when I see him, but I'm not so familiar with it. Because I've only heard the tales. And apparently it is about equal difficulty to the final boss. So that also makes it a bit difficult. Because I'm training here so I can beat the final boss. So something of equal... Why'd they heal on the first turn? But alright. You know, whatever they say. If that's how they want to do it, then I'm not going to complain. Yeah, we seem to be getting a lot of the same enemies, and there's only a couple varieties that are actually a problem for us. You know, instead of just fighting in one area, I could technically... I don't know why I would do this. It wouldn't be more efficient or anything. But I could go around to each area and do a bunch of fights in each region in order to fill out this thing. Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4... Only 4! We have 4 things that we have not yet discovered. Yeah, and I have no idea where they would be. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of showing where they are. But I can't assume. But, like, I mean, the Lich and this was here. This might be stuff that's in the past area. Because all of this stuff only appears back there. Except for this. Something appears in the Mirage Tower, maybe? That's the dungeon right below this one. We could head down there. Because, yeah, if we could find that and then go back to the past and fight these, then finish this entire thing, that's another achievement. And I'm kind of scared of that boss, so why stay in the area where the boss can spawn if I can instead go anywhere else? You know? Oh, great. Ow. Yeah, and we are every so often losing health up in this area, so maybe going to a lower level region would make it more consistent, if, you know, less XP. But let's just backtrack a little bit and get back to that Mirage Tower. Because I feel like I fought a lot of things in there, but it looked like, because the things before and after that enemy were in the Mirage Tower, that the next enemy on that list has to be in the Mirage Tower, right? Probably. Either that or just somewhere in the desert, because that's the area around the same level. But it's hard to tell. I don't know exactly what order all of those are in. Alright, got some more level ups. Okay, we're almost back to the Mirage Tower now. Sandworm, of course. Why is there a sandworm up here? It seems a little weird for the Flying Fortress. I would expect that of the Mirage Tower area, not the Flying Fortress area. But who knows? Either way, we're back here. Hi, Blue Dragon. Easy fight, as always. So, I think it would be an enemy in here somewhere. I don't know where. And why I haven't encountered them yet, because I have fought things fairly extensively in the Mirage Tower. But I mean, it's all RNG as to which enemies you fight when, so it could just be an enemy that has eluded me this entire time, and I just haven't gotten the lucky draw to fight them yet, because all it's throwing at me is were-tigers. Another level. Which, you know, I wish all my people were, like, equalized in XP, but they very much are not. I think it's because Unknown Man kept dying. Well, it seems like the healer is the one that has the highest XP. You know, maybe I should switch to the Blizzard equipment. That's what we're gonna do. Next fight. There we go. So we're gonna have you two attack, you are gonna do this, and you... we're gonna switch to the Blizzard attack because we're in the Desert Tower area. Just keep shooting him. Alright. I mean, he's easy enough to keep alive. Alright, now for future battles, that should save right there. So now when I press Q, it'll have him using the black robe instead of the wizard staff or what have you. Just keep bullying him. So we still haven't seen any new enemies, I don't think. Are you a new enemy? Alright. Alright, well, quick fight. Alright. That was faster than most. Usually the wizard doesn't just go first and obliterate everything, but we like it when that happens, I guess. I think we've seen all these guys before. Oh, the Black Knight actually has some health. Alright, pretty generic levels there. Let's check this again. Yeah, still nothing. But yeah, all this stuff happens inside this tower. But it's also hard to tell, because... Let's see. Yeah, because you see... Blue Dragon only happens in the Mirage Tower. Guardian only happens in those two, because I think the right one is actually the Sky Fortress. And all of these are in the right one. So maybe it is actually up above, not in the tower itself, because that would be the left dot, not the right dot. And then, of course, there's 3 more that I think are in the past, which one of them might be Chaos, because the bosses are on this list as well. Oh. Wait a minute. This empty spot in that is right next to the other boss of the region. Are you telling me that the secret boss is the final thing I need for the bestiary? Except for the enemies that are in the past. Which I think the final thing in it is for Chaos, who is the actual final boss. So do I have to go and fight the secret boss to finish that out? That's gonna be rough. Oh, hey Snail, how's it going? All right, we'll head back that way, because yeah, I didn't realize that the Mirage Tower and the Sky Fortress thing were next to each other and not like the same dot. But once I figure that out, we can more accurately tell where the stuff is going to be. But that does mean that we need to go back in time to finish this out for those two, and this one is like the only one in this time that we can finish up. Which means we gotta go back to the roof area. I don't know, I feel like Fira was working better than the Blizzard, even against the desert enemies. Which still doesn't make a ton of sense, but... Well, actually, if you think about it, desert enemies would be equally resilient against both frost and fire. Because they deal with fire during the day, in, you know, the heat, but also at night. Usually deserts get insanely cold, so if you think about it, desert enemies should be resilient to both fire and frost. So I guess it kind of makes sense. So let's switch you back to fire. Because I feel like it just works better against most things, especially now that we're going back up to the fortress. Alright, 999 HP. I think that's the max, right? I don't think the game lets you go up to 4-digit health. At least as far as I've seen. Because I did see in a screenshot somebody having their warrior guy having 999 health. And I kind of assumed that they would be pretty high level, and thus that would be the max you can get to. But I'm not sure. We'll see in one level, I suppose. But you know, we're getting stronger at a rather remarkable pace, so I think 3 digits is the max in this one. All others after are at least 4. Oh. It makes sense. Especially because it seems like 50 is supposed to be kind of the late game level that you reach. I don't think they really expected people to level up too much more past 50. Probably. Of course, I feel like I'm having to level up past 50 in order to actually... Where do I go for this? Isn't it down? Yeah, it's down. To actually beat the final boss, I feel like I need to go past 50, but I don't know if that's the way they designed it, or if I'm just over-exaggerating in my head how tough that final boss actually is. Maybe that was just a very unlucky run that I had last time, and it made him seem much harder, but we'll see. I want to be at least like level 60. I don't even know what level our guys are on right now. I should probably check that. 56. Okay, so we're getting close. It's about where you be. Yeah. It makes sense. Yeah, no more HP up. They just get agility and stamina, which I assume are damaging stats? I don't know, in most games, things like stamina give like stamina or health. So to be raising stamina, which this game doesn't have like a stamina stat, you know, this isn't Dark Souls, you can raise your endurance. So I don't know what the stamina stat exactly does. Maybe it's a factor in how many hits you do, because I could see doing a long hit chain on an enemy would take a lot of stamina, realistically. But other than that, I have no idea what that would do. It is kind of concerning that I'm most of the way through the game and I still have no idea what any of the stats do. Like, I know that the thief gets agility, but I don't know if agility is their, like, combat stat, like in, you know, once again, like in Dark Souls, where you either have dex weapons or strength weapons, or maybe if his agility determines when he attacks, like maybe it's the order that people attack in is based on their agility and some RNG. I don't know. The turn order is determined? Okay. So it just makes them speedy. And strength, I assume, almost always lends itself to physical damage. That one is probably pretty self-explanatory. And then, I don't remember what the magic skills are, but I think those are also pretty self-explanatory. One probably increases, if there's two. It might just be one. But if there's two, one of them probably increases the number of casts you have, and the other one would increase the potency of spells. But I'm not sure. Oh, and luck. Okay, yeah, and there's only intellect, so I think that would increase both simultaneously. It's agility stat, and then a random number between 0 and 49 is added to that. Highest number go first. Okay, so that's why it's so random when it comes to, like, when my healing comes out and everything. That makes sense. I kind of wish it was more, you know, concrete, but it certainly makes it less predictable, and I guess that's a good thing when it comes to a limited, you know, fighting system, is you want it to have some amount of unpredictability so each fight doesn't just happen the exact same. But yeah, and I'm not sure what luck does. It probably just helps with everything, like hit chance and weapon variance, or like damage variance and stuff like that. Mind Flayers, huh? We haven't seen these guys in a while. Evidently, it's good for them that we haven't seen them in a while, because they're getting destroyed. I was kind of spooked for a second, because I was like, Mind Flayers? I don't recognize that name out of the pool of enemies we've been fighting for the last little while. Is that a new enemy? Is that the boss? But no, it was not the boss. I think you said it was a 1 in 100 chance for the boss or something. Like, that's not bad odds if you're looking for the boss. It's pretty scary odds if you're, you know, somewhat hoping the boss doesn't show up. Last floor. Is this the last floor? Or is it only up, like, right next to where the boss is? Because I think there might be one floor after this. Like this one. This floor just looked big and impressive and like it should be counted as the last one. So is it this one? The really narrow, not really very expansive floor? This one? Okay. Well, then we'll fight here, because that makes so we can actually have a chance of running into it. And I think that's probably good, question mark? We'll see how fast we run into it. Stop beating up Unknown Man. He's just a little guy. Though, I guess it makes sense because he's the only one with spell damage. And they die to spell damage very quickly, so them taking him out would be a very strategic move. But still, it's very rude. Dealt with them easily. And actually, the more we level up, the more agility our guys are gonna have, and the higher chance that we go first. So that's gonna be a plus against most enemies. I'm sure like the final boss and the secret boss probably have more agility than we could ever hope to really compete with. I always silence Ebos when he doesn't have like any spells to be using in these kinds of fights. It's like, you'd think they'd silence the healer. Well, I guess they try to silence everyone, and that's just... he's the one with the lowest resistance to it, I guess. But yeah, 1 in 100. I don't dislike those odds, you know? I think we'll find him. I mean, I just did... I don't know what the drop chance is, but just a little bit ago, a couple days ago, I did a whole farming session trying to get... it was like 2 days of farming, to get small Ulthoi Venom sacks in Ashram's Call. And I did manage to get it in only 2 days. I was trying to get 25 of them, and I think they have a really low drop rate. I don't know if it's 1%, but it's pretty dang low. Like, you could probably kill 30 of the Ulthoi and not get one of the item. And then other times you kill, like, 2 or 3 and you get 2 of the Venom Sacks. So, luck is weird that way. It's not consistent at all. Like, you can try to break down percentages as to be like, oh, if we kill 100 of these groups, then we're guaranteed to have gotten the boss at some point. But no, percentages just don't work like that. They kind of just hate you. Oh wow, that's a productive level. Because yeah, sometimes luck is just bad and you can't do anything about it. That Fira is very efficient against large groups. Oh yeah, I gotta heal up that 1 damage we took. It's very important. Can we go into here? We can. So we can just like run back and forth on these pillars. That's probably not more efficient, but it's fine. Okay, a couple more fights and we'll have another level. I love me some levels. I wonder where the secret boss is hiding. Like, lore-wise, this is a very small floor. So if this is a big, impressive boss, where is it hiding? And why is it hiding? Like, who is it that is up on this roof that we have not yet seen? Because it can't be somebody who's in cahoots with the Fiend of Air in the walls. I suppose so. Because if they were in cahoots with the Fiend of Air, then that would mean that they would have like stepped in and stopped me from killing them, right? So I don't know, it must be something that's like connected to the city itself. Maybe like an ancient golem that is protecting the flying city after all these, what, hundreds, thousands of years? I don't remember how long they said it's been since the city was, you know, populated. And I don't know, maybe all my stomping around wakes it up. Maybe that's why it takes so long to find one. Oh, ambushed, huh? That's no good, because these guys, they love taking their turns first. And everyone's back to full health. And you even missed that final hit. Okay. Even when ambushed with a full group of enemies against me, it's no big problem, I guess. Of course, we need to not let these encounters, you know, make us think that we're doing fine and that the bosses will be easy. Because if you get into that mindset, you're probably not going to be having a good time when the boss actually shows up. I need to remember that these guys are all just lackeys, and they do not represent the true power of the enemies that come next. Wait, was that literally 0? Well, I guess it gave health. For a second, I thought that level up gave literally nothing. Which would be very unfortunate. Oh, you're just dead. Okay. Oh yeah, haste will help you here, I'm sure. Alright, we are gonna need to use a Phoenix down on you. I don't know, we could just wait and hope that the heal spells come out efficiently, which I guess we're gonna do. We're just gonna see how that pans out, because eventually, if we get enough just non-difficult fights, then eventually the healing would stack up and he would get fully healed eventually. I don't know. But he does get hit a lot. But only for a couple damage. It's pretty rare that anything actually hits that guy for more than 1 to 5 health. I think it's only like when they crit. And we're not even gonna get healing this round because they're just dead. Alright. That was actually a big... I think it was a lot of health for Unknown Man. Maybe? I don't know. I've been getting a lot of levels lately. Alright, heal up. See, we're almost to 1/9 of his health. That's a lot. Although if we run into the boss in my first round, I'll have to be, you know, healing up my tank. That's probably not going to be great. So let's switch up our tactic then. Where you attack, you use healing, you use healing, and you attack. So that'll get us double the healing, approximately. And we'll be doing damage slower, but hopefully our tank will be healed up in a shorter amount of time. And there's a lower chance that we'll just defeat the enemies in one turn. And not get any healing, because there's several fights that do that. Because I think the ninja has the highest agility. There's a good chance that he goes first and we get a heal off no matter what. So why is the stereotypical ninja garb bright red? You know? I mean, I have seen a lot of black ninja equipment, but in some media like this, the ninja is just bright red. I can't think of a color that stands out any more than that. You know? Especially in a natural environment. Like, I don't know. And I guess it's not always that ninja are supposed to be for, like, covert operations. Sometimes they work kind of out in the open, but still, it seems a little weird to me. It's kind of like in Asheron's Call during one of the April Fool's events, there's the House of Pancakes that opens. And that place literally has, like, ninjas in bright pink armor. And it's pretty great. It's a good April Fool's thing, but still, not the stealthiest ninja garb, if you ask me. Getting some good healing done, though. We're almost 2/3 of the way there. Still no boss, but that's probably good until our guy gets to full health. Oh, they're trying to flee, huh? Well, they don't get to flee. I'm not stuck in this dungeon with them. They're stuck in this dungeon with me. I wonder if you get to the max level, does Unknown Man ever get 999 health? Probably not, right? Fira is gonna do a lot here. Ow. Luckily, AoE healing is kind of all we do, so AoE damage is not that big a deal to us. I can also go over here. Maybe he's hiding in these corners, and I should check them out to see if I can figure out where he is. Alright, but we're almost fully healed again. There we go. So now we can switch our guy back to his regular, you know, attacking situation, because having the ninja on heal definitely lowers our offensive capabilities significantly. And so long as nobody one-shots our tank again, we should be alright. Let's just only move back and forth in this corner. He's got to be over here by this pillar. This is the wall that he's hiding inside of. I know it. No, apparently not. There was just flan inside the wall. How about over there, this wall? It's gotta be this one. Nope, more flan. Why is it that, like, I thought those were giant pillars or columns or something, maybe like a support structure, but no, apparently they're just giant silos filled with flan. Evidently that is what the people of this city cared about the most. And also, evidently, if you leave flan for hundreds of years in a silo, it gains sentience and comes after you to kill you. So how about over here by this silo? Is there more flan? There is. Okay. I think we're starting to build the lore here. We're starting to figure out who these people were and what they cared about, which is apparently black flan. And nothing but that. I still don't even know what, like, why it's called flan. Is it the food? Oh, there's a guy in this one. This guy ate all the flan. That's why he's the dark fighter. It's because he ate so much black flan that his insides were turned black permanently. And it's because he ate that entire silo's worth. How about this silo? No, just air elementals. That dark fighter from earlier must have already gotten to this one. He ate this whole silo first, and then he moved on to the other one. That's why this one's only filled with air. Alright, well, the healer's almost up to max health, though. How about this silo? Nope. The dark fighter guy also got to this one. Alright, Ebos, or not Ebos, Unknown Man, let's see what, ooh, that's actually good health. How much is that? Like, 20 something? Somewhere around there. Might be a new record. Alright, we're back to just the main path again. We've run out of silos to investigate. Alright, level 69. Didn't I say I wanted to be at least level 60? So, I think we've, overshot that a little bit. I mean, I was just paying attention to, like, the health numbers at this point. I've just been like, our healer's almost to max health. Let's get them there. I didn't even realize that we had far overshot our original, you know, level 60 goal. Maybe, you know, the dark fighter guys, they kind of look like goblins, you know? My headcanon now is that, to go back to Chaos and one-shot him, maybe, but you remember, maybe you don't remember, but Jim, from the start of the game, where he's just that singular, lonely, blue goblin that kept showing up, and we kept beating him up, and taking his lunch money. It was great. But yeah, that's him. He came here, and he ate so much flan that it transformed him, and he has become something unrecognizable. Still wimpy, and we still find him alone a lot, and we beat him up for his lunch money. But he has transformed himself into a higher Jim, you know? It's very impressive. We're all so proud of him. I wonder how long it would take to get us to level 99. Because I assume 99 is the max level. Unless that goes to 3 digits too. And you could get up to level 999. That would be insanity. I don't think they would have done that. Just because then they would have actually had to code in, like, how much health, stamina, strength, intelligence, luck, and other such stats you would get per level all the way up for, like, almost 1,000 levels. I don't think they would have done that. Especially for 6 characters. Unless it's just, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's an algorithm that decides it. It seems like each level was curated and has like different amounts that you get for each one. Because like sometimes Unknown Man gets his signature 5, it used to be signature 2 health, and then it went all the way up to now I guess signature 6 health. But I don't know. It seems like they have it set with like a certain standard to each character and how they level up. So not really an algorithm, because there's differences from it, but I don't know. We'll have to see. Maybe if we get up to level 99 before finding this secret boss, then... Oh, Ether, thank you. Then maybe we'll be able to test out if there's a level 100. And if there is a level 100, I doubt that they would have stopped there. Because, you know, the second you go into triple digits, you kind of need to go all the way to the end of the triple digits, right? Alright, stamina and intellect, which actually, if I keep doing this long enough, our guys might get more, like our melee dudes might get more spell slots, which would be kind of amazing. Because I think the more intellect you have, the higher your spell slots are. Most likely. I would also assume that intellect would increase our spell damage, probably, which would be very nice. Yeah, you're getting closer and closer to max health. That's what I'm waiting for. Once the healer is max health, we'll be pretty secure when it comes to fighting the final boss. Not that we'll be invincible. I'm sure you could still kill someone with 999 HP. I mean, he was doing like 700 damage in one hit sometimes. So I'm sure that he would be able to manage killing 999 health, especially because he has insta-kill attacks as well, which does not care how much health you have, it just kills you. But we did get a spell that improves our resistance to instant death, I think, so if we can get that, that would be very nice. War Mech, is this the guy? I've never seen this before, I don't think. I think this is the guy. So I suppose everyone, well yeah, you can only self-buff. So you are going to attack magic do you have? Temper haste. Yeah, you also self buff. So we're just gonna have... Actually, no. We will have you self buff. And you will do... Oh, but the reason I didn't have you self buff is because those are group spells. So you are going to self buff by doubling your attacks. You are going to put defense on everybody. You are going to put raise attack on the ninja. So he has both his offensive skills right off the bat. Because I think those stack. I still have no guarantee on that, but I think they do. We all went first. Ow. Oh, and he heals. Right. You mentioned that. You attack. You already have your buffs, but you could haste him. You... I don't know what damage type that was. We're going to raise our evasion next. You are going to go for tempering him. Yeah, we just got to attack him. He's got a good amount of health, luckily, but come on, man. Invisita. Good. Temper you as well. Alright. You attack again. You just attack again. You are going to use... this one. On you. And you are going to... What else do you have? I think lightning damage would be good, but this... We've never tried this before. Let's try that. Nuke? Ow. Good damage. Oh. That thing didn't have as much health as I thought it would. It nukes us, and then we nuke it, and it's just gone. Alright. Boss beaten. I win, I guess. Interesting. I guess because it heals back an amount of its health each round, that's why it didn't have a ton of max health. And so we could just burst it down real quick like. Because yeah, 2000 HP is not that much. But I was right, it was a construct of the flying city, so that's good. So we found that. We just need to go back to the past to find these two, and then this guy is the final puzzle piece then. Maybe we should use some potions. Just so Ebos doesn't die before we can heal him up. So I guess we can leave this way, because we found all the enemies in here. So I guess we're gonna go back to the past and start farming there. I'm hoping partially to get my healer to max level. Also, I do realize that they were not on the right skills for auto combat, so I'll need to reset them to that. Man. Oh, these sandworms don't even know what's about to hit them. Alright, but that should set the precedent for our auto battling for later. Man. That was not... It didn't take as long as I thought. I mean, it was 1 hour, almost on the dot, that we ended up finding and fighting that thing. So, I think that's pretty good luck, all in all. Ah. You want some of this, Jim and Co? I don't think they want some of this. Alright, back to the past. Now somewhere in... Oh, I need to remember what the route through here is. Purple worms. Have I seen these before? I don't know. Let me check that. It's gonna be tough to remember which I've seen and which I haven't. Nope, purple worm was one of them that we have not yet seen. Alright, there's only one more, and then chaos. And our entire list shall be filled out. So I think we go down here first. I guess they really like black flan in the past as well. Well, I guess they would have, because, you know, they made the ancient city all that time ago. And that's when they would have produced and stored all the flan in those silos. So, makes sense. Still have a bit of healing to catch up on, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Ow. They're just hasting up that one golem. If he gets a chance to attack, we're all dead. Okay, good. Good level ups all around. Was this not the way to go? I don't remember. The route through this area was very convoluted. Well, we're down a member, evidently. Because when he's slowed, he just can't do much of anything. But that's fine. We just need to wait long enough, and the Fiera will take care of them. But they're all hastening. There we go. Alright, almost to max health. That is 975 out of 999. So where did I go wrong here? Was the first step a misstep? Was I supposed to go through the other stairs? Are there other stairs? Can I access those other ones? Or am I just missing something? Because it's been a little while. Not that long, but a little while since I went through here. I'm very glad these things didn't do their big old breath attacks, because those give us quite the repair bill, and I'm not a fan. Eight damage. Although sometimes we can do like enough damage to one-shot them, and other times it's just, no, you do 8 damage. Uppies, okay. I think this is the one where we go down and through the middle, possibly. Oh, that's a lot of antidotes. Oh, I guess none of us actually got poisoned. We just took the damage from the poison without actually getting poisoned. It's nice. More level ups. Ebos is also approaching max health. Man, if I'd played the whole game with 4 times XP, I would have been... I would have had no issue beating that final boss. I would have probably been max level at almost everyone already. Because that is an insane amount of XP you get. Oh! Hi, Black Knights. How's it going? There's a lot of you. How do you like fire? Probably a lot. Alright, this should finish him off. Hopefully. There we go. Have we found the other... I haven't really been paying attention, but I don't think I've seen anything else that I don't recognize. Nope. Still one more that we're missing. Is there another secret boss? Well, no, then it would be right down next to that, wouldn't it? Actually... maybe the reason we haven't run into it is because each floor... enemies on B4 of the Chaos Shrine. Okay, where are we now? I don't know. Because I think... I was gonna say, each of the enemies has like a specific area. Like the Lich was in, I think, the first area. Let me go down the stairs to see just what floor we're on. And I don't know if we're going up or down right now. I don't quite remember. I've just been vaguely following what I remember. Alright, so this goes down to F. And we're looking for B4, so we're like 6 floors away from it. Null Blaze? That's not good. Blaze is all we know how to do. That's just unfair. They can both cast Null Blaze and Fiera on us at the same time. Okay, I think we're all full health, actually. That's good. We have recovered. And more level ups. Yeah. Healer has now officially hit max health. Unknown Man is still very far from max health, but you know what? That's fine. Yeah. Top left corner was indeed where we go. So B4. Oh, come on. We just healed that health. Alright, more stamina. Good. Whatever stamina does. Oh, you don't see these guys that often. Might just be on this floor. But, Fiera is gonna do well against them. Not well enough, evidently. Okay. Ow. Yeah, keep healing. You gotta keep us in tip-top shape for fighting that new mystery enemy on the next floors. Because, yeah, now we're down to 1F. Okay. We're still nowhere near 4 or B4. I swear, if I reach Chaos and he's just on like B3, I'm gonna be upset. It's like he's not even the final boss. He's just there to block us from the lowest floor. More purple worms, alright. What level are we now? We're level 80, okay. Chaos has got another thing coming. Like, I feel like he is not even gonna recognize us from the last time we fought. Or maybe he will. Maybe we're gonna get down there and it's gonna go the exact same way. I have no way of knowing. I just feel like we're a lot stronger now. But once again, that could just be overconfidence from killing the, you know, the secret boss so quickly. Where are we? Are we going all the way around or are we going in the middle? No, we go all the way around. Earth Medusa. I think we've seen those before. I don't think we've gotten to B4 yet. Probably. I didn't check. Alright, more level ups. Agility, intellect, and luck. Wait, so yeah, everyone has max HP except for Unknown Man, who's down at 823. Poor Unknown Man. That's just sad. That's just... He's the only person who's still wimpy. Though, to be fair, 800 health is more health than our tank had at the start of this stream. So, because I think our tank had like 700 something health at the beginning. So, it's not really... Alright, Chaos is the final boss, but you're not ready for the true final boss 2 floors before me. Honestly, that would be kind of epic. Like, it's not even in the catalog. It's just everything points towards Chaos being the final boss, but then it's just a secret final boss shows up and obliterates us. Also, I'm gonna go back up these stairs because I didn't even look at what floor this was. Let's see, previous floor was B1, so we're on B2? Yeah, okay. Final Fantasy is no stranger to that. Well, if they do that, then I will be happy about it. Where do I go here again? Oh, yeah, there's a door in this area. I completely missed that. But that's fine. More farming for me. I secretly want to get my guys up to level 99. Because I want to see if there's a level 100. I also want to get Unknown Man to max HP. If he ever gets there. Honestly, I could see him getting to level 99 and never reaching max HP. Which would just be sad. That would literally just be depressing. Just like, he's been behind in HP his entire life, and even at level 99, the devs are just like, nah, he doesn't get to have max HP. He's just gonna sit there as a wimpy baby man for all eternity. I mean, you can't do my Unknown Man like that. He deserves better. What was that? I look away for 1 second to read a message and there's just like a beam of light. You get like some revelations from the Lord. I don't know what just happened, but nobody's dead, so I'm gonna assume that's fine. Yeah, honestly, I've seen a lot, well, not a lot, a little bit of the expansions of Final Fantasy XIV, and it always seems weird to me because they kind of hype it up as like, oh, you're the hero of legend and you've fought literal gods. And then in the next expansion, they're just like, ah, look at this zany plant guy. He's about as difficult as that one god from the last expansion. It's like, how does that work exactly? How is there a boss that's like a giant freaking tortoise, which they call a turtle? I'm still salty about that. There was a boss in Final Fantasy XIV I saw on Void's stream that clearly, very clearly, it had like legs instead of flippers, thus making it a tortoise, right? Not a turtle, because turtles have flippers, the front flippy things. So yeah, but they called it a turtle in the game, and I was like, that ain't a turtle, I don't think. I'm no biologist. I don't know the exact classification of tortoise versus turtle, but I'm fairly certain that's it. But anyways, it's like, how is it that you know, tortoise is stronger than like the gods of the last thing? Like, could we have just sicked our pet tortoise on them in the last expansion? I don't know. But every MMO has that issue. Like, you know, in WoW, where you literally beat Ragnaros, who's like, I don't know, pretty much a god of destruction. He is a big deal, and you beat him at level 60. And then you're at like level 100 and fighting other random enemies, and they're stronger than Ragnaros. Like, how does that work exactly? Lore-wise, how do you rationalize that? That's kind of something I like about Asheron's Call, was that throughout all of the expansions and all of the other stuff, the scaling stayed consistent. Where, first of all, you're not the strongest thing in the universe. You're not the hero, you're not the, you know, chosen one. You're just kind of a guy that happened to wander into a portal, and now you're in Dareth. But also, like, you fight things like, you know, there's Mamaya, and you go from fighting lesser Mamaya to greater Mamaya, and they're just higher level. And then the bosses are like, this guy is like, you know, you're fighting Gaerlin at a lower level, but then Gaerlin is still kind of a lesser player in the whole matter. And then at the higher levels, you fight like Airbax, and he's actually a bigger threat, and lore-wise is supposed to be much stronger than the other guys, and he is. So it's like, it's very internally consistent when it comes to difficulty. They never really had something that completely uprooted the scaling of the whole game whenever they expanded it. So they did have a few things, like, gameplay-wise, where it kind of didn't make a lot of sense when they upgraded enemies. Like, when they upgraded the Iron Golems up to level 160, it's like, why'd you do that? Ooh, B4. Alright, this is where we need to be. I zoned out talking about Asheron's Call lore for a bit, but we're back. Now I can zone out again, because I now know I just need to not go up the stairs. So yeah, it's a good game, lore-wise at least. I'm very much a fan of it. Favorite game ever, don't you know? But yeah, I especially like how back in the day, Death Knights. Those guys know? No, I think Black Knights were the ones we fought. Are Death Knights different? Is that have we fought those before? I'm gonna check the catalog. Cause that might have been them, like, right away. Nope, we've seen Death Knights before. But yeah, I especially like in Asheron's Call when they did all the Iron Golem. I think that might be new. I don't think I've seen that before. But they did a bunch of like live events during when the game was in like active production, and that was very cool when they did that. Okay, and that was the guy we needed. So now Chaos is the final thing. But speaking of scaling of things in expansions, they had a live event where literal Baal Zaron, who was he's like the big bad of the entire game, front to back. Like it's not that each expansion has like a different big bad like some other MMOs have. He was basically the same villain. He's pretty much like the Satan of that universe. Oh hi, I remember. You're just right here. But anyways, they had him spawn in. This was pretty early on in the game, I think back when the level cap was still 126. And they basically spawned him in, and devs controlled him around. And there are screenshots that the ground of all these different towns is just, you can't even see the floor, because it's just littered with player corpses, because he would just go through and he just annihilated thousands of players. And it's like, you don't see that anymore, except that one time in WoW where what was it, the Blood Plague or something like that, where someone kept their pet dismissed when it had like an infectious plague from a raid, I think, and then it started spreading through entire like cities and stuff like that in the game because the plague was literally coded to spread player to player regardless of whose party you're in and everything. So it just infected players kept infecting other people, and it was a completely out of control epidemic. It's kind of like that. Except on purpose, and the devs did it to just genocide their entire player base. It was amazing. Anyways, time to kill chaos, I suppose. You remember me? Yeah, I was just here. You don't need to do your whole spiel again, my man. I was here. Remember we fought? And then I sent myself back into the past to stop myself from attacking you so that we wouldn't die. Remember that? That whole thing that happened? Time travel shenanigans and all that? Alright. Here we are again. Now let's see what we can do. Poor unknown man still doesn't have max HP. That's kind of sad, but you know, them's the breaks, don't you know? You attack, you... Oh, we never restored our spell slots. That's fine. We haven't been using spells, really. Protect. Broken time travel, you should have just killed us as children. I know, right? That would make a lot more sense. I think we tempered with him, so now we're gonna haste with you. Prepara. Good. Blaze. Not good. Ow. Alright, now you are just gonna attack. You are going to temper you. You are gonna put... I think it would be worth it to just do null all. Oh, that's a single target. Well, shoot. Okay. We'll start putting that on people. I thought that was a everyone target thing. I've never used that one before. And then we need a haste on you. Alright, we need some healing going on. So you're gonna attack. You're gonna attack. You are gonna use a big heal. The entire party. Yeah, there you go. And then you... Do you have any other buffs to put on people? Because Temper and Haste are like the big ones, but... No. Oh, it's one enemy's evasion. We might be able to put that on him. But I'm not too confident on that one. Oh! It didn't say he evaded it. So you are going to, I guess, put null death on everyone. And you, since you already got focus done, I guess slow him? If you were able to do one, you know, debuff, then maybe you'll be able to do another debuff. Null death. I missed? How did you miss your own teammates with a buff? Okay. You are just going to use a high potion on yourself to keep yourself healthy until we actually can get null death on everybody. Maybe not everybody, but it only is on the ninja right now, and I don't like that. And you, I guess, are going to use flare, because that does light and heat damage. Misses everybody. Oh, man. Come on. Oh, that's some good damage, though. Just one more try. One more try. Come on. Why's it gotta be so hard to not instantly die in this game? I also need to put null all on more people. Miss! Alright. I think we're done with null death. That just is not happening. At least we know that our ninja isn't gonna be getting insta-killed anytime soon. That's about all we can say about it. Yeah, and you just keep flaring. That's doing some good damage. You keep blizzarding, because that's not doing good damage for you. And look how much we heal. We heal 3 times of its damage back. You're gonna magic. We're not gonna be doing... Wait, why are we all visible again? Didn't I do Invisora? Does it run out? Or did I forget to cast it this time? I might have just forgotten to cast it on this boss fight. But you know, it might also cycle back around to my, like, theory about the game, which is that we aren't actually people, you know? Because it never told us, like, the backstory of how we became the heroes of legend. So I think that we never were. We just kind of appeared in our current forms at some point. So that would mean that he couldn't go back and kill us as children, because we would have only appeared... I mean, he could have gone back and killed us at level 1, but aside from that, I think that is about as far back as we can go. Can we silence you, maybe? Probably not, but I don't need to heal right now, so might as well. He could probably use healing. Miss. Okay, yeah. Probably not gonna get that to work. Let's put a bit of a cure on you, just because you're the only one injured right now. You're out of flares, so just start blizzarding. That's a good thing we're putting cure on that guy. Ooh. We're gonna prep a group heal, because I assume he's gonna do some big group attack. Yep. But that's fine. Also, we need more null all on people. So we'll start doing that whenever we don't have to directly heal that round. Maybe we should have healed. Alright, but null all should help if it never runs out throughout the boss fight. I don't know. You are gonna have to do another cure on him. Are you almost out of? You're almost out of blizzards, but that's fine. Ah, Ebos did the final blow. Good job, Ebos. You're doing us proud. The guy never healed once. Yeah, I think I was just really unlucky with the earlier thing where he earthquaked, which insta-killed our tank, and then we were never able to recover from that. And he healed. So even if we had kept going and been able to actually, like, get back into a groove with all the rebuffing and healing, I think that all the damage we did was healed back. But here, he didn't heal at all, which even if he had healed here, it wouldn't have been the end of the world, because he only did 9,999 healing. So, and we were doing like 1,000 damage a hit on certain turns, so I think we could have actually out-damaged the healing if he did that just every so often. But we would have ran out of spell slots eventually. We would have had to use some ethers, but the damage wasn't overwhelming. Anyways, the time loop was severed at last. The endless struggle that raged over 2,000 years had ended, and peace prevailed once more. The light of the four crystals restored the forces of wind, water, earth, and fire. It was a mere trick of fate that had given rise to the chain of Garnish's wrath, but magnified by the four forces meant to guide our world. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's talking about, like, it weirded me out because I was reading this in a, like, vacuum, not in the context of the last two lines. Anyways, that trick of fate also gave birth to the fiends. Monsters had run rampant as the world sank into darkness, but all that is now past. I'm glad this is moving so slowly so I can actually, like, read and banter at the same time and not miss anything. Because if it was going faster, I would be missing a lot of this. Because, you know, reading's hard. It's difficult. With the four forces flowing as they were meant, the warriors prepared to cross time and return to the world they knew. A world where Princess Sarah, Queen Jane, and even Garland himself await. When was this fateful day that sent time spiraling into a loop? None can say. Who is Queen Jane again? Is that someone we actually ran into? I don't recognize that name. But alright. It seemed the cycle into which time had fallen would last forever, but the bravery of four young travelers changed that. They took the forces that filled the world with darkness and used them to bathe the world in light. Fun. Anything else you want to tell? Yes. None will ever recall the struggle the four endured, for the breaking of the chain means that it never existed. That's kind of reminiscent of Final Fantasy XIV, isn't it? Because as far as I know of the lore of that, I've only seen, you know, streams of it and played like a little bit of it, but it seems like nobody there is able to remember what happened with the Warriors of Light, you know? Like, every time there are these amazing warriors that save the world, and nobody can even remember it. But anyway, but within the tales of fantasy that people tell, the memory of their deeds lives on. Tales of dwarves and elves, of dragons and shining civilizations that reached for the heavens even as they fell. And now their return is upon us. That's just a very specific event. Ah. But, you know, it does seem very much like that. Because, you know, Tales of Fantasy, memory of their deeds lives on. Like, it's almost like it's a very vague memory that people have of what happened, even though time itself was, like, reset upon it. And with the memory of their struggle buried deep in their hearts, they will quietly watch over our world. Remember always that the forces of the world must be used as they were intended, that the power of light must never be used for dark, and that the true crystals reside in your heart. For you are the warrior who crossed time. You are the bringer of light. So you're saying that the true elemental crystals were the friends we made along the way. There's a reason people don't recall that event clearly in 14. Okay. Interesting. Because, yeah, I was thinking maybe it was a trend that was from the very first game all the way through the games, but maybe that's just... They just seem like similar concepts. But we'll see. Because I do have, you know, Final Fantasy 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then my friends actually own 7, and 7, and 7. There's a lot of 7s, I don't know why. But they have multiple 7s. And then I think they have 8 through 10, maybe? I don't know exactly which ones. I know they have 7, all the 7s, and 8. Maybe 9. I don't quite remember what all was in their collection, but I can borrow from them any of those games as well to also stream. I think those will be on the Switch though. This one's on Steam, but I'll need to get my cross console, set up back up. To the fans across the globe, both past and present, to the crew. It went much faster than all the other stuff. But I think that was talking about the people who like remastered the game. And credits. There's 6 sevens. 7 sevens. Why do they have so many sevens? Do they not know that when you're counting up, then, it's... I mean, I guess remakes make sense, because this would be, like, one of the Final Fantasy ones, but it makes it very hard to know which one to play when you have numerous of each game. At least with, like, a remake, you know that generally you should just get the newest remake, which isn't always... It's a general rule that the newest remake is probably going to be the highest quality, but that's not always the case, because sometimes remakes just kind of suck. Like, in this case, I don't know, I've never played the original Final Fantasy 1. I don't know if this was better or worse, quality-wise, in any way, but, counting the spin-offs as well, I don't know, how many spin-offs could it have? I have no idea. Anyways, I'm sure they, my friends will coach me on which 7 to play in which order, and which ones I need to play to go through the whole series, but for now, 1 has been finished. So that is great. I never got Unknown Man to level 99, or to max health. I didn't get any of them to level 99, which I would like to do both of, but, there is that. And earlier in the game, it seemed like the all-warrior group would actually be like a good option. But now that I know that equipment can have like all these different effects, I would probably still need to have one warrior doing AoE attacks. Which actually, no. I was right. Because warriors end up maxing out their health the earliest. They can wear the tankiest armor, thus they take like no damage. Generally, unless it's like a crit or a boss attack. They can still cast spells later on, but they can't do the damage buffing, so that would be a problem. But they can wield the strongest weapons, which means that their base damage is higher. So a group of all warriors would work, because then you would just have one of them with the healer's staff, and you would get their infinite healing from that. But then you wouldn't, against bosses, you wouldn't have like burst healing. You would only have passive healing through the one guy that has the healing item. And I can only do like a tier 2 heal spell. So that might not work well. I feel like it could work, but warriors are still vulnerable to spell damage. Their physical damage reduction is quite prodigious, but the spell damage still can wipe out their health pretty readily, and there's instant deaths. And the more health each character has, the more impactful instant death is. Because, if you had 4 tanks all with 999 health, and one of them just gets insta-death, that's kind of a problem. Because then it'll take, like, the rest of the entire boss fight to try to get his health back up. If you don't have, like, a dedicated healer that can have a full heal, So that may not work. Although, if you get the warriors high enough level, they do use light magic. So I might be able to use, like, up to tier 4 light magic with them, and that would give me some good healing if, not having a lot of spell slots for it. You beat Final Fantasy 1 4 Black Belt Grandmasters, just level high. Yeah, is that the monk class upgraded version? Because I think there were still 2 classes that I haven't even checked out yet, because you can only, I think, get those if you start a new game and have them in your initial composition. I didn't see anywhere in the game, that you could switch out character classes, so I was never able to try them out. But we shall see. I might try a different composition in the second game, if if it has the same classes and like the same 4-character setup. I'm not sure, but we shall see. But yeah, that game was, let's see, it was about 3 hours per stream, so probably about 17 hours to beat the whole thing. Red Mage and Black Belt are the two you didn't, yeah. Can't switch in the game, yeah, that's unfortunate. Has freeform composition, we'll see how that goes. I don't know if am I gonna do, I might just jump straight to the second game. I'm still enjoying the format. So yeah, we'll probably start that tomorrow then, and see how that goes. Cause yeah, this game was it was honestly longer than I thought it would be. Cause when I got to like level 10 on the first stream, and had already explored like half a continent, I was like, this'll be a quick game, like 5 hours, easy. It wasn't like the longest game, but it certainly was not the shortest. And to be fair, probably one or two of the hours that was just me stumbling around the world talking to people, like, do you know about the lava stone? How about you? Do you know anything about the lava stone? Where do I use the lava stone? And then there's a dwarf that knew about the Levistone but wouldn't tell me anything about it. So, to be fair, a bit of the playtime was just me running around frantically asking people about random key objects. They had no idea where to use them. But we did figure it out eventually. And I do like that it was like direct enough that we were able to figure it out just by logicking it. I mean, to be fair, some of it didn't make any sense. Like I think it was no, it wasn't the Elf Town. It was the Crescent Town that had all the guys huddled up in the woods. That didn't make a lot of sense, not because you wouldn't think that they're there, but because it doesn't, like, unless you look at the map of that town and notice the big clearing to the side, you would never actually, like, go over there. I stumbled across it on accident because I had, like, said to myself that I would explore every neutral area very thoroughly after missing the nitro powder in the first castle. So, that is why I found it, but I don't think everyone would have found it that quickly, because those guys are way out there and just hidden. I also had chat to help me through some of the things. Like, I wouldn't have found that nitro powder for quite some time if you guys weren't here to tell me that I'd already been in the castle that the powder is in before. You know, I was thinking, there must be a castle hidden away somewhere on this island that I just can't find. But no, it was definitely not that. But yeah, all in all, pretty dang good game. And one of the best of the genre that I've played so far. I hope the trend keeps up, and that the next few games that are still of this genre all are like equally impressive. But what's weird is that it like switches genre at some point, doesn't it? Because you go from like the Final Fantasies where it's a team fighting thing, turn-based team fighter, all the way up to like I think it goes into real-time like beat 'em up kind of gameplay, I think. And then it goes even further up to like an MMO, and then back to the previous style, and then back to MMO again throughout the different games. Because I know 11 and 14 are MMOs, I'm pretty sure. So it's like, how does that work? They kind of switch it up very much between the games, so we'll see. I think 1 through 6 are all the same genre, though. Possibly. We'll just have to explore that and figure it out. But hopefully, someday, I will have played all of the Final Fantasies, and that'll be great. I still have to, speaking of game series that I have to finish, I still have to beat the Elder Scrolls 1 Arena. Because I beat Elder Scrolls 2 Daggerfall a while back, and I was like, alright, we did backwards order, so Skyrim all the way back through all the games to Daggerfall, and I was gonna do Arena next, but then I was like, it's a really clunky game, so I never got around to doing it. But I do still need to do that, because that'll be the end of all the Elder Scrolls titles. Except for, you know, what was it, Redguard, I think, is one of the games, but I think it was like a spin-off game, kind of, and I've heard it's not that good, so I don't know if I'll be doing that one. But yes, tomorrow I will be probably back to playing Final Fantasy, probably Final Fantasy 2, because I don't know why I do them out of order. And that'll be good. The end, I suppose. Save completed game data. Data saves progress up to the final boss. Yeah, sure. Say 43 up to level 86. Oh, and exactly 16 hours in time, evidently. That's nice. Alright, that's clean. So yeah, beat it at level 86, which we literally like doubled our level from the start of the stream because we put on the 4 times XP and just farmed for like an hour straight. So that is a lot. It's pretty impressive. So yes, I should probably just go to this screen now. I was kind of just stalling and talking about random things because I was wanting for to like have the credits go all the way through. But now I don't need to worry about that because the credits are done. So I can just say bye. So yeah, see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye.